everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today I am going to be jumping in to a few things that I picked up from R.E.M Beauty. I know it's way late to the game and I almost wasn't even going to bother doing a review on any of these products, but then I got thinking I don't want them to go to waste. So I need to make content out of stuff that I buy, and I bought it, and my shipment was delayed by about a month. My box was delayed because of a few products that were in the box, and it was delayed by about a month. So by the time I received it on December 10th, I was like neck deep in Christmas stuff, and I just couldn't get to it, right? So I wasn't even going to film it, but I thought, no, I'm not going to let this stuff go to waste. I spent money on it. I need to review it. So here we are. We're going to dive into the products that I picked up from R.E.M Beauty. I also want to let you guys know that I'm using a new microphone. So let me know how you guys like this microphone. I recently picked it up. It's a new one. This is supposed to be a way better microphone than the one I was using before. So let me know how you guys feel about this new microphone, and if you feel like the audio is better or worse. Be completely honest and transparent. I love it when you guys give me constructive, kind criticism, so definitely let me know if you like the old audio versus the new audio. First, we have the mascara. This is called the Volumizing Mascara. I picked this up in the shade Midnight Black, and this mascara retails for $15. So I test this out today. I also picked up the lip marker in the shade Booked and Busy. This retails for $16. Lots to say about that. Then we have two liquid eyeshadows. So I bought one in the matte and also one in the shimmer. One in the matte is in the shade As If, and the one in the shimmer shade is in the shade Comet. These each retail for $16. Then I bought one of the Plumping Lip Gloss. I bought it in the shade Scrunchie. This retails for $17. I also bought a set of lashes. These are called the Dream Lashes in the style Eternally Meowing. These retail for $16, but I did not put them on because these are way too big for me. I've kind of pulled away from wearing the super big lashes, and I didn't really want to ruin them because I'm going to give these to my daughter. And then I bought two matte lipsticks. These each retail for $19. I bought the shade Tiramisu and Rollerskates. I bought one of the eyeshadow palettes, and I bought this one in the shade Baby Doll, and this retails for $24. So I'm going to be testing everything out. I'm wearing the eyeshadow palette on this side, the liquid 2 eyeshadows on this side. I wanted to play with them all, kind of give you guys my thoughts on them. So if you guys have never heard of R.E.M Beauty, R.E.M Beauty is owned by Ariana Grande. She launched her own makeup brand, and I bought it on the R.E.M Beauty website. I'm not sure if it's coming to major retailers or not. I'm just not sure. And full disclosure, I am not a super fan of Ariana Grande. In fact, off the top of my head, I can't tell you what song she sings. Now, I would probably know it if I heard the song, but I can't verbally tell you, oh, Ariana Grande sings this song. First of all, I'm really not into the new music, and two, I don't have time to listen to music. So like when I'm doing things, I'm normally listening to a podcast, or I'm listening to something on true crime, or I'm watching something on my phone. So if I'm listening to music in my car, it's pretty much devotional music. So I don't really listen to a lot of music. I just don't. So I'm not a huge fan of Ariana Grande. So this review is taking her kind of out of it, and I'm just reviewing the makeup for what the makeup is and not who is behind the brand. So I just wanted to kind of make that clear. And for those of you that are super fans of Ariana Grande, I'm really sorry that I cannot name off the top of my head a song that she sings. So anyways, without further ado, let's go ahead and just jump straight into the applications of all of these products, and then we will get into the swatches. I will swatch each of these products, and then I will get into my final thoughts. So I will see you guys then. So we're gonna go ahead and dive into it. I have been starting to kind of open up some of the products that I got out of the boxes. I will say the lipsticks are nice because they do have a magnet on them. So they're magnetized, which is nice. The only problem that I see is the lid might scuff this because this doesn't go down. So of course, as you use it, it will go down. But when it's brand new, it won't go down because it peeks through this little like astronaut top. I don't mind that I can see what the color is. I have so many lipsticks and I never know what the color is. Most of the time I store my lipsticks with the label like this, right? So this is like Lisa Eldridge. I'll keep the label like this so I know what the color is. So I'm not mad that you can kind of peek through it, but the downside of that is, you know, taking this on and off, you might scuff this up. So kind of keep that in mind. This is a lip stain marker, which I'm assuming it's just, oh, it's actually a lip stain marker. Well, that's kind of fun. Okay, not a super fan of Ariana Grande, but what I've gathered about Ariana Grande and her makeup, it's always very simple. So she does seem to like a more simple kind of youthful makeup look. So this line does not surprise me that it's more simplistic and more her jam. She's staying authentic to who she is. Let's start with that lip marker. Just see how this works and how long it lasts, because I'll be playing with this makeup for a minute. So let's test it out. Okay, hold on. Am I supposed to like shake this? Did mine like dry up or something? Hold on. I have a feeling that this is gonna dry up. It's quite dry, and this is the first time I've used it. Wondering if this is dried out or maybe this is supposed to be this way. But don't get me wrong, I feel like I'm getting color, but it's not what you think it is. Number one, I don't even feel like it's applying evenly, right? So it's like going down into like the creases of my lips and like sticking to like dry spots on my lips, which I don't like. So in order to use something like this, you would always have to keep your lips exfoliated. So that's number one. Number two, I don't feel like I have to press as hard on my hand, but on my lips, I feel like I kind of have to press hard. And I'm not sure if it's just because the back of the hand is so much tougher than the lip. I don't know. I'm not feeling this. So I'm gonna go ahead and put the gloss on. This is what the gloss looks like. This is in the shade Scrunchie. This little squeezy thing is hard to squeeze. Oh, it's hard to squeeze. I don't like this either. It's hard to squeeze this to get the product to come up in there. See how it's uneven, like right through there? It's like sticking to all of the lines. I'm not loving that. So, not my favorite. For the sake of the review, I don't know that I could use the liquid eyeshadow first and then use the palette. So I think what I'll do is I'll use the liquid eyeshadow on one side with the shimmer, and I'll use the palette on the other. I think that's pretty much the only way that I can really do it and get a good feel for it, because I feel like maybe using these together, I may not be able to get a good idea for both of them. The liquid eyeshadow that I got is in the shade As If. The shimmer is called Comet. So this is As If. It's a beautiful, beautiful color. So that is the shade As If. And then this is the shade Comet. It is a beautiful color. It's kind of a peachy tone, which you guys know I love peach. It's kind of like a vanilla peachy tone. And this is just definitely like a plum mauve almost. Like it's got that somewhat of that purple, it's like a deeper mauve. Really, really pretty. So I'm gonna start with the palette and use the palette on this eye. The palette itself has that like factory smell to it. You know how sometimes when you get clothing that's like been like straight from the factory and it kind of has that scent to it? That's how this smells. I don't know how to describe it, but anyway, I am going to start with this peachy shade right here in the middle, this peachy matte. Really, really light wash of color on my complexion. Let's move on to the darker color. Same brush. I'm going to grab this shade right here. good pigment. I mean, it's not bad. It's a decent pigment, and it's blending out quite good. We'll see how it works with the darker shades, but so far it's blending out nicely. Now I'm going to take a shorter, kind of stubbier brush, and I am going to go into this shade right here. And I am going to carve out the outer corner with that shade. Kind of deepen things up. And I'm going to go back into the peachy shade, and I'm going to use that peachy shade to kind of blend everything out. Like all of the edges and stuff like that. And I'm not getting any fallout. Let's go into the shimmer. I'm going to grab this shade right here. And I'm going to put it on dry first using the Smith 253. I'm going to start with this shade first and kind of use it as the base color. And also use that color to kind of buff out this harsh line. Then I'm going to move into this color. I can tell you, as I was sitting here kind of putting on my concealer, and then I talked to my daughter on Snapchat for a minute while I was putting on my concealer, I could smell the palette. So the palette does have quite a strong scent, and I don't know if it's just because it was sitting in packaging for so long, I don't know, but it does have a strong scent. It, to me, and I'm not, here's the thing, the scent doesn't bother me. I'm not sensitive to fragrance, but for those that are sensitive to fragrance, just kind of keep that in mind. It's not a good smell either. It's not like the Tarte Amazonian Clay formula where it kind of has that like vanilla yummy scent to it. This is like a factory scent that just isn't like the most pleasant scent fragrance in the world. So kind of keep that in mind for those who are sensitive to fragrance. Okay, so now I'm going to take this brush from Sigma. This is the E15 flat definer, and I'm going to grab this shade right here, and I am going to tight line that right on the lower lash line and also up here on the upper lash line just to add that depth. And I'm also going to do that on the inner corner. It just adds that little teeny bit of depth. Let's go ahead and use the liquid. So when I'm using liquid eyeshadows, I like to, number one, put a little bit on the back of my hand. Now, some people go directly on the lid. I will do that if it's a formula I am used to and I know how it performs. But with new formulas, it's always best for me to have the most control over the product, to put it on the back of my hand and have two brushes in my other hand. I like to have a brush that will apply it and a brush that will blend it out. Now, personally, I like to use the Worker Pro from Sonia G to apply it, and then I'll just use any kind of crease fluffy brush that I have to blend it out that's clean. So I'll be using the Wingos number 17. So I like to have these in my hands, like right here, so that I can grab them real quick, because you just never know if it's going to be something that dries super fast. And in order for me to have the best control, that is my preference. So I just put a little bit here on the back of my hand. Okay. And then I'm going to use this brush, which is the Worker Pro, to grab from the back of my hand like this and apply. Now I'm just going to take the clean fluffy brush and blend out the edges. I'm going to grab a little bit more and put some like right here and then blend it. Sorry, I was out of focus. That's why I always have to look in the monitor. I've had a few people say, I wish you'd quit looking in the monitor. I'm like, I'm sorry, my camera will focus on my mirror. And then I like always have to keep checking to make sure that it's focused on what I'm doing and not the mirror. So I like this. It's not a bad formula. And it's kind of hard to get it off on the back of my hand here. So it's not a bad formula. I'm not done. That's just kind of like one layer of it. Okay, so I just went ahead and put on some concealer. And the reason why I waited to put on the concealer is so that I could use the concealer to kind of clean up this line. Let's see how this shimmer formula, that's too much, but let's see how this performs over top of the cream. So I'm just gonna basically place it like right here in the middle and then kind of work my way. I'm gonna wipe off the brush and then just kind of blend out those edges. And then just slowly kind of add it as I want to. This color in particular is not like super, super shimmery. I'm gonna layer it up one more time, kind of right here in the center, and see if I can get it to be a little bit more dramatic. It doesn't feel like thick or clumpy or anything like that. Oh wait, it is a little bit thicker in that area. So if you do get it thick in certain areas, I just recommend going over with your finger and kind of like smoothing it out so there's not like thick spots kind of setting on the lid in a weird way. Let's move on to the mascara. So this is what the mascara looks like. Pretty unique packaging, kind of fun. It says R.E.M Beauty right here. And then this is the wand. Okay, so one thing I don't like about it is that you can't set it on its, you know, it'll fall. So you have to lay it down, which, you know, is kind of hard to get used to. Now this is a very interesting wand because right here in the middle, it has like separations, and I'll show you. I'm wiping off a lot of the mascara because I do not like to apply a thick glob of mascara. So I always wipe off the wand. Okay, so see the two divots in there? You can see them like right there. Right in between here. I'm gonna go ahead and apply the mascara. Okay, so that's one coat on each. I am gonna go ahead and finish. I'm gonna do 2 coats and then do the lower lash line. And then we'll come back and I will go ahead and try on the 2 lipsticks that I got. Okay, so I went ahead and finished the rest of my makeup. Now, the mascara, I have a lot to say about the mascara. I was only able to do 2 coats. This kind of dries and kind of becomes like a spider leg effect where the lashes become super, super stiff. So it's like the more coats you add to those stiff lashes, the worse it gets. So kind of keep that in mind. This is not one that likes to be built. Let's go ahead and try on the 2 lipsticks that I picked up. So I have the shade Tiramisu and Rollerskates. So this is Tiramisu. I feel like my lips are so uneven from the marker and dried out. Oh, and I just scuffed it. See, I wasn't paying attention. I knew that was going to happen. I told you guys that would happen. So see, I just scuffed it. See the little scuff mark? I scuffed it right there on the lid. You know, not being able to screw it all the way down into there is going to be an issue. You're going to mess up the shape. It just is what it is. It's, you know, as many times you try to, you know, be careful, you're going to get busy and you're going to forget, and it's going to happen. So right away, this is a pretty comfortable matte, but the problem is the marker has dried out my lips. So if you look really close, I'm going to zoom you guys in, you'll see these dried out spots right here where I need to exfoliate, and I'm trying not to talk and move my lips, but you can see those dry spots. So not my favorite. The marker is not my favorite. This is a pretty color though. I'm going to wipe it off. Now let's apply Rollerskate, which is more of a nude color. It's not my favorite matte formula. It just feels, creamy, but it feels like it kind of applies a little uneven. I don't know how I feel about this, to be quite honest with you. This is a pretty color though. I would like to apply this with a lip liner, but even without a lip liner, it looks pretty good. I like the color of it. I'm not like 100% for sure about the formula. It is kind of a nice like velvety kind of like matte texture. I'm gonna go ahead and put it on with a lip liner. So that's it for the applications of the products that I picked up from R.E.M. Beauty. Let's go ahead and jump into the swatches, and I will share the swatches of the products that I used in today's video, and then I will jump into my final thoughts. So I will see you guys then. So now that we've made it through the swatches, let me go ahead and get into my final thoughts. I'm going to first start with the palette. I don't mind the palette. The palette is nice. I like these kind of small, travel-friendly, kind of like everyday type of shades. So I didn't really struggle with the formula all that much, even though this shade did get a little bit patchy in a few areas. I was able to blend it out much easier than I was expecting it to, and it's a nice formula. The shimmers, when I swatch them, they're a little chunky, so kind of be kind of mindful of that. But this is a nice formula. It's not like my all-time favorite, but it's not bad. I like it. It's a good formula. It is. So let me talk about the liquid eyeshadow. So I actually really like this liquid eyeshadow, the matte one. Really easy to blend. It kind of reminds me of the Rare Beauty. Rare Beauty has one that is similar to this formula where it's got a little bit of like an oily base to it. So as you're blending it, it blends out really nice and really even. Didn't have any issues with the blending on this liquid eyeshadow. So if you're somebody that really likes liquid eyeshadows, I would look into the matte version. Now, I didn't particularly like the formula of the shimmery one. This one is in the shade Comet for a few reasons. Number one, it doesn't have a lot of shimmer effect to it. It's kind of, even though when you swatch it, it looks like it's bam, right? Like it's like, wow. But on the eyelid, it's a little bit more toned down, like as you blend it. That's not really what I don't like about it, because there are those days where you want something that's more toned down. The deal is, this is a kind of a thicker formula, and as you blend it out, it gets kind of thick and a little bit chunky, and it's a little drier than some of the other liquid shimmer eyeshadows that I have. I would say I would skip this. I would not recommend a shimmer formula, but the matte I really like. I think the matte version is amazing. So out of everything that I used today, those are the two that I do recommend. Mascara, I do not like. The mascara I kind of explained. It's one of those where you can't really build it. So we all have different preferences. We all have different lashes. We all need something different from our mascaras. I am someone that likes a thickening type of mascara that kind of makes my lashes look fuller. I don't really care so much about the length, but I like the thickness. And this mascara kind of gives you the, kind of makes them all kind of stick together and like this spider leg effect, and then they come kind of crispy. So they're kind of, it hardens, and as it hardens and attaches to the eyelashes, it kind of gives you that spider leg look, and I'm just not a huge fan of the mascara. I will say it didn't transfer, so I haven't gotten any like raccoon eyes from it, which I'm totally happy about. But overall, I just don't like the way that it builds. It's just not one that likes to build very far. I think you're going to get maybe 1 to 2 coats out of this. If you're somebody that likes to apply 3 coats, I would skip this. My least favorite product is probably this gimmicky ass lip marker. It's basically like taking a Sharpie and putting it on your mouth. It attaches to all of the lines, makes the lines darker. You saw how much I had to apply to even get color to show up, and I'm still struggling. And I don't know if it's like drying up on me, but I like shake it and have to keep kind of, this is like completely a complete waste of money. Nice idea, but the actual product itself is not worth a penny, in my opinion. Not even worth the plastic that it's put in. This is just not a good formula. No. It's like, no. No. Do not buy it. Don't. No. Okay, let's talk about the gloss. The formula is great. This is the opacity. So it has quite a decent opacity. Not the best I've seen, but not the worst. The formula actually reminds me of the Hourglass glosses, where it kind of has that pepperminty type of flavor to it, which I personally like. It's not one that's like super clumpy on the lips where it kind of gathers up and it like makes your lips stick together. So the formula is fantastic. I quite like the formula. I hate the packaging because I have to squeeze so hard to get it out. Like I don't mind the packaging when it comes to, you know, a squeeze tube where you squeeze some to the tip, but the problem is this plastic is thick, and so you have to squeeze quite hard to get it to come up. As you're using it, you're gonna have to squeeze harder and harder and harder to get it to come up. So not the best well thought out packaging for this gloss. And I like the texture of it, but I just wish the packaging was better. Okay, let's talk about the lipsticks. Okay, so I don't really for sure know how I feel about these lipsticks because my lips were so dang dry after using that janky ass gimmicky marker that I don't know that I was able to truly give it a good enough test, but I will continue to wear these and kind of let you know. But I understand the packaging with the astronaut, you know, being able to see the color is nice, but you're gonna nick it. You're just going to. It is inevitable. You're gonna nick it. So that's number one. I do like the magnetic packaging. That's nice. But the overall formula itself, so it is a comfortable matte. However, I had the nude shade Rollerskate on, so I applied it with the Tom Ford lip liner, and then I went off camera and I took my dogs out, let them go to the bathroom, you know, grabbed a snack, came back down, didn't even eat my snack. It's actually still sitting here. And by the time, I mean, it was probably 20-25 minutes later, and that lippy was pretty much gone. All you could see was the lip liner. So this wore off pretty quick. Quicker than I was expecting it to. I don't know if I'll have the same experience with the darker color, but this nude color wore off really fast. So overall, I feel like the only two products that I liked out of everything I used today is the eyeshadow palette and the matte liquid eyeshadow. Everything else I'm just like, pass. Just full pass. So those are my thoughts. Sound off down below in the comment section. Let us know your guys' thoughts. Have you guys tested out anything from R.E.M. Beauty? Let us know. I'm curious to hear your thoughts. Thank you so much for hanging out with me in today's video. I hope you guys all have a wonderful day, and I will see you guys all in my next video. Love you. Bye.